Hey everyone, my name is Matt Jones and I am the preaching minister here at the Mercedes Drive Church of Christ in Vance, Alabama, and this is Organic Christianity. So I was trying to think about what I wanted to talk about today for this video. Trying to think of what topic would be relevant, what verse maybe we should discuss. And so I got to opening up my Bible and it opened up to this picture that I guess Georgia had drawn for me yesterday during worship services. And what she had drawn was this beautiful tree with green leaves everywhere. It was just beautiful. And it got me to thinking about Psalm 1. And Psalm 1 describes a tree that's planted by streams of water. And in Psalm 1, at the very beginning, the psalmist writes about blessed is the man who doesn't hang out with the bad folks. Right? Specifically, the psalmist writes, who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers. Blessed people don't hang out with bad folks, right? But what do they do? He makes a contrast in verse 2 by saying, but his delight is in the law of the Lord. And on his law, he meditates day and night. The blessed man, or we'll later figure out the righteous man, doesn't spend a lot of time with the wrong crowd. But rather, he spends his time focused on God's word, meditating on the law of the Lord day and night. And that's where he finds his delight. And notice he describes him in verse 3. He says, he is like a tree planted by streams of water that yields its fruit in its season, and its leaf does not wither. This righteous or this blessed man is like a tree planted by streams of water. Right? When we think about where to plant a tree, that'd probably be the best place, right? Whenever you think about a creek, right? Guess what's growing around a creek? Trees. We used to live way out in Oklahoma, right? You don't really think of big trees growing in Oklahoma. But you know where you'd find those big trees? Next to the creek bottoms. Because that's where the source of life for them was. And I think that's why this psalmist is using this description of a blessed man. Because where does the blessed man find his delight? Where does his mind spend most of its time? In the law of the Lord. And that's like the tree that is planted in streams of water. Right? Can we say that about ourselves? Are we like a tree planted in streams of water? Are we a Christian that is delighting in God's word? That is meditating on God's word day and night? Being planted by streams of water? What does it say happens to this tree that's planted in streams of water? It produces its fruit in its season, and its leaf does not wither. Is that us? Are we producing fruit, or are our leaves withering? Right, when the sun gets too hot, do we start dying? When life gets hard, does our leaf wither? It won't if we're planted by the right source. If we're planted in the right source, God's word. My encouragement for you is to get planted in God's word. Be like the blessed man who is like a tree planted by streams of water. If you need help doing that, getting into God's word, taking delight in God's word, I'd love to do that with you. I'd love to study the Bible with you. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a blessed week.